not subscribed to our channel, you can do so by clicking the subscribe button as shown above. Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology. In today's video, we will cover a different topic, that is understanding life transformations through the 11 Rudras. So we will see the connection between the transformations that happen in our life, what exactly are the 11 Rudras, and try to gain a deeper understanding on this topic in this video. Now, what exactly is a transformation? A transformation refers to a major change that happens as part of your life. It can be a positive change, it can be a negative change. And in Vedic astrology, we know there are 12 zodiac signs. Now, each of these signs represents a certain aspect of your life. And the 8th house from that sign represents the transformation that will come about due to that sign. For example, the first house in the Vedic astrology represents our physical self. It is also known as the Lagna or the ascendant. And the 8th house from the ascendant, counting the first house as the ascendant itself, represents the major life transformations that happen to this physical self. So the 8th house therefore represents accidents, it represents misfortunes, it also represents inheritance, it represents your in-laws, it also represents your longevity. So the 8th house indicates major changes or transformations in your life. For example, an accident can completely transform you. An inheritance can completely change your personality, your status in society. Similarly, 8th house represents secret knowledge. Any secret knowledge that you gain, that can also transform you completely. 8th house represents chronic diseases and misfortunes. So any unfortunate event, any chronic disease that transforms your life completely. Now you can extend this principle to every house. Let us take, for example, the 3rd house. The 3rd house in Vedic astrology represents efforts, it represents siblings, it represents neighbors. It also represents short distance journeys. And what is the 8th house from the 3rd house? It is the 10th house. The 10th house represents your karma, it represents your profession, it represents your career. So when you put in more efforts, when you work hard, it transforms your career, it transforms your profession, it can transform your business, also your relationship with your siblings, with your neighbors, that can also transform your karma, your profession, your business completely. Now there are 12 signs in the zodiac belt, and the 8th from every sign represents a major transformation or a Rudra. The meaning of the word Rudra is actually to scream, to howl, to roar, to vibrate. Now, is any transformation easy in life? Let us say you want to win a gold medal in the Olympics. Then you have to put in intense efforts. Intense practice is needed at your end. And even with that practice, you should be able to defeat thousands of other competitors. Then the end result is good for you. And that represents a major transformation in your life or a Rudra. And therefore, transformations make us go through pain. Transformations make us cry at times. But transformations are necessary so that something better happens. And that is exactly what Rudra does. Rudra makes you go through transformation, makes you go through pain to give you a better result. Now the Vedas say there are 11 Rudras, and any horoscope has 12 zodiac signs. So the extra zodiac sign that represents the original Shiva from whom 11 Rudras emanated. Now there are different stories regarding how the Rudras originated, and there are different names for the 11 Rudras. One popular story is that there was a fight between the Devas and the Asuras. The Devas used to do noble things, so they rushed out of fear to their father sage Kashyap, and they told him that the Asuras are troubling them. Sage Kashyap then went to Kashi and he worshipped Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva blessed him that he will be born in the form of 11 children to Kashyap and his wife Surbhi. And these 11 children were none other than the manifestations of the original Shiva, who are also known as 11 Rudras. Now, all stories in the Vedas are actually coded, and therefore you need to decode them to understand the true meaning. The fight between the Devas and the Asuras represents the fight between good and evil, and wherever evil increases, it is believed that God incarnates to protect the good from evil. And in this case, God incarnated in his 11 manifestations to protect the good people from the evil ones. Rudras therefore represent the life forces present in our body. They represent 11 life forces present in our body. And once these life forces leave the human body becomes a dead body, and that makes the relatives and near and dear ones cry. In reality, death is also a transformation. It is the beginning of a new journey. Now let us understand the meaning of each of the names of the 11 Rudras and the transformation associated with them. Now the names may differ based on the different scriptures, but the meaning is closely the same. The first Rudra is known as Kapali, and Kapali means one who wears a garland of skulls or who carries a skull in his hand. And therefore, this aspect of Lord Shiva represents that transformation which takes us beyond the journey of life, that is, the journey post death. Kapali tells us that we have limited time on this earth, and eventually we will merge into the 5 elements. Kapali also represents the highest chakra, that is the Sahasrar chakra. If the Kundalini reaches that chakra, then a person gets liberated. The name of the second Rudra is known as Pingala. Now, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna are 3 channels through which energy flows in our body. This represents the flow of prana or life energy because of which we are alive. And therefore, Rudra is also known as Pingala, that is the breathing force or the life force. If you are able to control your breath, then major transformations will happen in your life, and therefore yoga is a very important practice. Pranayam is also a very important practice which teaches you how to control your breath and life events that occur. The third Rudra is known as Bhima. Bhima means someone terrible, someone extremely powerful, someone extremely fearful. And therefore, this Rudra represents the physical strength within our body. The fourth Rudra is known as Virupaksha. Virupaksha means differently eyed. We all know Lord Shiva has 3 eyes which represent the past, the present and the future. And therefore, this form of Rudra represents the divine knowledge that enables us to understand the past, live in the present, and also see beyond. That is the future that lies ahead. So, this form of Rudra represents divine knowledge. The fifth form of Rudra is known as Vilohit. Vilohit means dark red, deep red, something symbolizing fire. And this Rudra represents the digestive fire within all of us. He also represents the passion, the energy within all of us. The sixth Rudra is known as Shashta, and Shashta literally means Guru, teacher, and therefore this Rudra represents the divine teacher, the divine guidance that we all receive. The seventh Rudra is known as Ajay Ekapada. Some also call him as Ajesha, which means one-footed one. It represents an image of Shiva standing on one foot and Brahma and Vishnu emerging from either of his sides. This Rudra represents the penance, the efforts that are needed for creating, maintaining, and destroying something. The eighth Rudra is known as Ahirbudhyana, who represents the serpent lying deep inside the ocean and protecting the treasures. Now, with respect to the human body, the serpent represents the Kundalini energy, which lies dormant within every human being unless it is activated properly by a guru, and when it is activated, it gives you self-realization. The ninth Rudra is known as Shambhu, and Shambhu literally means the source of happiness. Once you transcend the levels shown by the previous 8 Rudras, real happiness or divine happiness is attained, and the Rudra representing that transformation is known as Shambhu. A true saint is therefore one who has become one with Shambhu. The 10th Rudra is known as Chand, and Chand actually represents that form of Rudra or Shiva with a crescent moon on his forehead. And therefore, this represents the enlightened being who has controlled the mind. So, this Rudra brings about transformations in the mind. The last Rudra is known as Bhav. Bhav means sansar or world. Bhav also means something which exists throughout the universe, something which pervades the universe. And therefore, this form of Rudra is that eternal consciousness which pervades the entire universe. And once you transcend these 11 Rudras, you become one with God or the Supreme Shiva. Another meaning of Bhav is emotions. It means that once you transcend your emotions, then you can easily become one with the Supreme Being. So friends, Rudras are nothing but the major sources of transformations in our life. Rudras are also the life forces pervading in our human body. And once the human body nears death, the 11 Rudras exit the human body. And death is the ultimate transformation which takes us towards a new journey or rebirth. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. For any queries, please write to us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. So friends, thanks a lot. Bye. Take care and stay safe.